Hi, and welcome to another episode of Mr. Bench's Book Reviews. What's in the box today? Let's see. Click, click. Oh, that's a nice one. Nice big one. It's called The Lion Inside. It's illustrated, I guess, by Jim Field and written by Rachel Bright. So, let's see how we get on. The Lion Inside. It's cute, there's a picture of a mouse reading a book. There's a mouse on the front as well, and there's a lion. What looks like the top of a lion. I mean the upper half of the head, not the top. Yeah, let's see how we get on. Yeah, Rachel Bright and Jim Field. I think Jim Field's the illustrator. I've seen things illustrated by him before. Might say that, yeah, actually. Yeah, text Rachel Bright, illustrations Jim Field. Okay. Here we go. That's a rhymey one. In a dry, dusty place where the sand sparkled gold stood a mighty flat rock, all craggy and old. And I'd better show you the pictures on these guys. Looks a bit like that might be meant to look like a lion, that rock. Not sure. Possibly. And under that rock, in a tiny full house, lived the littlest, quietest, meekest brown mouse. Tiny full, it's a made up word. Which is nice, it's a poem after all. And here's the meek mouse. Clearing out. He was so very tiny, so incredibly small, that nobody noticed him ever at all. Hello. That's quite cool, is the mouse being tiny, saying hello, and the other animals very obviously looking in different directions and not noticing him. So he's cute, and there's like there's like the legs of a giraffe. I was thinking he's talking about sand, but this actually looks quite green. So I guess there's plants in the desert. Like sandy earth. Ow! Oh, I see. He got trod on and sat on and missed out for stuff. Ignored and forgotten. Yes, mouse life was tough. Ouch. It's always a bit tricky to know when and how to read these speech bubbles when they like break up the poem. But I like the way they're introducing the other animals. You have an elephant's foot, a zebra's rear. So contrasting them with the mouse. Now here comes the lion. Meanwhile, far above, on top of the rock, times were quite different. It was lion o'clock. And one thing I should also point out, they do like instead of italics, I guess the idea they write on top here in big letters and lion. I guess that's so that when you're reading it, you need to emphasise those words, which is nice. They haven't done anything here where they very obviously make the shape of the lion look like the shape of the rock, so that might have been coincidence. But we may find out later. This huge, toothsome creature, so the made-up adjective. Maybe a random will get some made-up adjective. Made sure everyone saw how important he was by how loud he could. That's what I believe is called an ellipsis. What's it going to be then? Let's try with saw. By how loud he could. No, it's roar. Oh, that's nice. That's on these big double-page spreads. Quite like this so far. I can really see into the lion's mouth. And it's very nicely illustrated. Like you can see all the different hairs here. It's not just self-shaded. It's very detailed. So he's roaring loudly, and that is demonstrating how important it is. That's right. Okay. He was head of the pack. He was shouting. It's actually called Pride of Lions, but never mind. He was shouty and tough. He was shouting at some other lions. He loved showing the crowd he was made of strong stuff. So Pat doesn't actually have to rhyme in anything there. So I could have said head of the pride, but that sounded weird. He's actually holding a hippopotamus above his head, so he's very strong. And he's even standing bipedally. I mean, that's just to make him look like a weightlifter. Yes, all were impressed by this mighty king cat. If only, thought Mouse, I could be more like that. There's another ellipsis there. It's not quite clear here, actually, what the relationship between the other animals and the lion. Because here you've got shouty and tough. He looks like he's mean, right? He's cross, he's yelling at people. Not looking too plussed. But here, he's doing his little dance, showing off his muscles. And they're actually looking quite happy. They're smiling. Even the other lions who were unhappy earlier now laughing. So I'm not sure what's going on there, really. And it says they're impressed. But they look genuinely happy. They don't look like they're just feigning it. Oh, that's nice. There's a little mouse watching. Could miss that if you weren't looking carefully. I don't know if the mouse is on every page, if it's one of those. Don't think so. Okay, let's move on. Then, late one dark night in his Minnie Mouse bed. That's Minnie Mouse hyphenated. So it's a bed for a Minnie Mouse. The cleverest thought popped into his head. He jumped from the covers and held up a paw. It's a bit of an odd expression, but if you look at the picture, he's going, aha. It also aids the rhyme, but I think it's alright. It's nice that they had that in the picture, otherwise we wouldn't really know what that meant. Is he going like, oh, is he shielding himself from something? Blinding him in the darkness. But no, he isn't. I've got it, he said. What I need is a roar. And there he's saying roar. He's not roaring, I think he's saying the word roar there. Which is because he's seen the lion roar. So it makes quite good sense so far, which is nice. I like it when the things make sense. I mean, what if this mouse with the weeniest squeak? This is a bit odd. This is in quotation marks. This is the mouse talking about himself in the third person. I mean, what if this mouse with the weeniest squeak was a little more grrr? That's G-R-R. R-R-R-R-R. It's a bit odd. Anyway. Well, it's just odd that they've capitalised the G, which is found in the R, but then they switch from capital R's to lowercase r's in the middle of the grr. I guess maybe that's the mouse trailing off because it doesn't have that much grr at the moment. But they're still quite big and bold, so it's an odd decision, but okay. And a little less meek. He said he was meek earlier. I think he was the meekest brown mouse around. Because that's consistent. Well, he'd still be the smallest of fuzzy brown mice, but he'd make friends and join in, and life would be nice. There's a picture of some other animals smiling at him. I'm not sure if that's him telling them his plan. I don't think so. I think he's just talking to himself. And he's imagining, probably, having friends. Such as rhinoceroses. Yes! Thought the mouse. I must find out how. I will learn how to roar, and I will learn it now. That's nice to get myself a book out off the bookshelf called read that. It says How to Roar, which is nice. That's what book you need. And this is quite cute as well because he's little, right? They keep saying he's little, and he's standing on this tower. There's like a stool, and then a suitcase, and then some sort of pot or pan. They're very nice drawings. But gulp, oh my gosh, There was only one beast who could teach him this thing, but might make him a feast. That's a bit odd that he's got his How to Roll book, and yet he seems to think he needs teaching. How to Roll it actually says A.A. Mouse on it, which is nice. It's like a nod to A.A. Milne, the writer of Winnie the Pooh. Don't know if there are other nods to Winnie the Pooh in here. I guess words like tiniful and toothsome would fit in quite with A.A. Milne. I don't know if they are used, but they're reminiscent somewhat. I guess in How to Roll it just says go find a lion. I'll tell you. It was time to be strong, take a chance. After all, forever was such a long time to feel small. There's an ellipsis there as well. I think this is quite nice because it helps you well, I mean, partly it helps the drama, but it helps the reader know how to read it, which is nice, because that can be a struggle with poems. Forever was such a long time to feel small. It's quite a nice turn of phrase too. That's quite nice so far. I'm enjoying myself. So he made himself brave, and he thought like a winner. He set off for the top, hoping not to be dinner. Now, set off at the top, you might not know what they're on about there, but they're talking about this rock where the lion sits. And because that might not be quite clear from the text, even shown on the previous page, you've got the mouse gazing up at the top of this rock. Well, I mean, you might think he's looking at the moon, but I'm pretty sure he's not even looking at the top of the rock, thinking about the lion, which is kind of cool. Because it's tricky. I mean, you haven't got that much room for context and footnotes in a rhyming poem, but they use the pictures to show you what they're on about. This, by the way, isn't in quotation marks anymore, so this is very much the narrator again. So he's hoping not to be dinner. Thought like a winner. Winner and dinner rhyme. It felt like the scariest thing he could do. But if you want things to change, you first have to change you. Well, that's a message you could write an essay about, isn't it? Some people would say, keep it real. Be true to yourself, etc. And society should adapt to accept the mouse or person you are. But here it says you've just got to change. I mean, self-improvement is not universally derided, but I mean, it's very much a statement here that could be slightly controversial. Anyway, you know, you could say find some friends who don't mind that you have a squeaky voice. Why do you have to be like the lion? Terrify everybody. Anyway, I think here, from this point of view, it does look a bit like a lion, sort of, or some sort of animal. It does look quite snout-esque, not that I am pointed outside. This bit at the top looks a bit like a snout. If that's what you even call the front face of a lion. Anyway, the further he climbed, the closer he got to the slumbering lion reclining on top. The lion reclining is quite nice. That's a nice ring to it. Then at last, as he stood on his tippity toes, again, tippity toes, it's like the insertion of this it makes them even more tiny than normal tippy toes. It's diminutive, creative. This person probably knows languages, probably a linguist. Not sure how true that is, but I could believe it if she studied languages. He found himself suddenly nose to... What's going to be nose? Nose! Gulp. That's the second gulp. Pardon me. Wake up, Mr. Lion. See, showing respect. You've got company. Well, that almost sounds like he's accosting him. Squeak, Mr. Lion. What I've come to you for is Squeak. Do you think you could teach me your roar? The English doesn't have different forms of you, but like saying like Mr. Lion is a nice way of showing that he's showing his respect. If you look close, he's not on his tippity toes in this picture. It's on the flats of his feet. You can't really tell from that perspective. I mean, clearly he's just got himself on this rock, so he doesn't really need to be on his tiptoes. Lots of bones like lying around. Like I don't know if these are maybe like carcasses or just leftovers from the lion's meals. It's just supposed to make it feel scary, like in The Lion King when they go to the elephant's graveyard. You know, bones are supposed to be scary. Got a bit of a quiff, the lion there, which is nice. Which is one reason actually. If you look at that quiff, and then you go back to this rock at the start, it has a bit of a knob on the top, which could be. I'm pretty sure that is meant to look a bit like the lion. So anyway, he's saying, do you think you could teach me your roar? Yeah, after gulping it. Oh, that's an impressive picture. Look. We got the lion's nose, absolutely huge, right across the double page again. A silence befell that twinkling plain. Not sure why it's twinkling. It's in the middle of the night. I mean, you've got the sun there. Maybe it took him a while. And there's the moon, but I understood that he went to bed and then got up the next day to go on his adventure. I mean, that very much looks like a sun. I'm not sure why it's twinkling. That's definitely the sun. I guess the sun could twinkle on a plane. Not sure. Anyway, a silence befell that twinkling plain. Lion opened his eyes. Just calling him Lion there. I don't know if they've done that before. Is that him? Because they say like the mouse and stuff, this cat. I know they're calling mouse, if only thought mouse. Okay, so they're just called mouse and lion, that's very common, I guess. Lion opened his eyes and puffed out his mane. Time slowed right down. Why? It felt like a week. Then he opened his mouth and let out n. N. So something starting with a vowel. So it's not squeak. Let out a shriek. No, n. I don't know. Let out n. Eek! With an A in it. There's the lion eeking. Now it's a trope that elephants are scared of mice. So that comes as quite an unexpected twist. I don't know if they said the lion was brave before. They said he was tough and impressive and shouty. But he's clearly also scared of, I mean, scaredy cat lion. He was the king cat. So maybe it was like a regal kind of terror. Or fear of mice. There's his eeks. The lion. No, it's the lion. You see, we had lion, now it's the lion. So that does. Well, they do both. It's useful to have a few variants, particularly if you're trying to make things scan and rhyme. The lion was shaking his paws all a fumble. He was backing away with a scrambling tumble. That's a nice rhyme. Don't hurt me, he whimpered. Oh, try to be nice. Well, my goodness, this lion was frightened of mice. My goodness. Don't worry, Mouse peeped. I'm a friend, not a foe. And maybe it was the "you've got company" thing that woke him up. He thought he was being attacked. You can see how that would be misunderstood. Maybe the mouse should work on his greetings. Let's rock this together. We'll have fun, don't you know? I'm not quite sure what they want to rock together. I mean, they used the word rock to refer to the rock earlier. Mighty flat rock. Craggy and old. I don't know if they're making an allusion to the lion also being craggy and old. I'm not sure what a craggy person would be. Cranky. Who knows? We'll have fun, don't you know? That was a magical moment. Nice little alliteration. They've not overdone the alliteration, but a magical moment in a Minnie Mouse bed. A few of them. And it started off with a dusty dirt or something. Dirty, dusty desert. Dry, dusty place. I mean, that doesn't really work as dry. Normally people say which doesn't really alliterate with dust. Not the way I say it anyway. That was a magical moment for sure, when a mouse didn't feel at all small anymore. He had found his true voice and learned to speak out. And for that, you don't need to roar or to shout. I don't quite get that. It's just because he terrified the lion by his very presence. By yelling, "You've got company" at him. I mean, so he just feels good because he knows that he can instill terror in people. That's how you find your true voice. And from that day and always, the two were a pair. That checks out. They both liked that rock better now that rock was to share. Fair enough. Didn't mention the lion being lonely before. The mouse, while still little, felt big in his head. Big in your head? That's weird. That's probably to make the rhyme work. And lion, he still roared, but with laughter instead. And he was saying, ha 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 ha. That's nice. Roaring with laughter is a common expression, so that's quite a nice ending. Not sure what the big in your head thing. I mean, big-headedness is obviously arrogance. I mean, maybe that's what it is. You just need a bit of a chip on your shoulder sometimes. Maybe that's the message. I mean, you don't have to be an already perfect being necessarily to achieve happiness. There is going ha 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 ha. Yes, that day they both learned that no matter your size, we all have a mouse and a lion inside. Oh, sorry, I ripped that. That was careless. It's not too bad, it's just come slightly unstuck from the spine. Yeah, and there's like a silhouette of the lion, and you can see the little mouse on the lion's head there. We all have a mouse and a lion inside, so I guess that means we all are timid and squeaky. Meek, I believe was the word, and also we can be shouty and tough and do impressive dancing. That is a pretty nice book. Some of the like moral stuff of it is a bit iffy. Like, I don't really know why you can only overcome your meekness by scaring others. I mean, they make friends, right? So it's not like he's bossing the lion around, but unless you must change yourself to bring about change. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know if now the mouse, does he go around scaring other people now? Is that what he does to maintain his confidence? And then the lion laughs his head off about it? Don't know. Would need the lion inside too to find out. Maybe there will be one. I liked it though. I really like the illustrations, I must say. I really like the way the illustrations clear up any potential ambiguity in the text. I saw very few even potential discrepancies between the drawings and the text. Either way, you occasionally have a big double page spread. Lots of changes in perspective. No, I liked it. Couple of questionable hyphenations and uses of capitalization, but in general very nice. Lots of ellipsis was very much part of the style, but that aided the reading. Don't trip up on the rhythm or the rhyme really at all. As I say, just morally questionable, but otherwise lovely book. Well done. Love to see more. So that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments as always, and I'll see you next time. Bye.